Okay, guys, bless your hearts, your lovely, lovely hearts. Yeah, I just want to share something very powerful that has been brewing in my heart quite strongly. Yes, there's this way humanity is kind of conditioned to see life in a certain way, like to feel, okay, this is how life just is. You know, like this is how we keep going on with life. There's nothing more and all of that. But let me say this. Why it appears like life is just static, like there's nothing more in terms of life, is because humanity is not yet open for the transmissions of life. Life has transmissions, like upgrades, like updates, if you like, you know. For instance, if you look at the world of technology, you would agree with me that somehow there has been upgrades that have been like in an evolving kind of flow when it comes to technology. It has never been the same. There's always been this shift from one place to another, and it's ongoing. Now, this thing you see about technology is a copy, it's a reflection of life. Yes. Why the upgrade, the shifts and all whatnot in technology is not really satisfying to life is because it is just a pointer. It's just showing that this is actually what life is. It is not like this is what will give that sense of fulfillment or rest. This is like a reflection of you. This is actually how you are designed. Then it's being reflected in these things. Okay? Now, why life in itself is not evolving, more like it's not kind of having shift and having that elastic kind of stretching, is because when transmissions come to us, humanity, we usually abort and evacuate these transmissions. Yes, let me give us an example. Just like the story of Mary in the Bible, it was said that an angel came to her, like we used to say in the Catholic faith, praying the rosary, said the angel of the Lord declared unto Mary, or the angel visited Mary and said, Hail Mary. Now, this is the point. That angelic visitation I call a transmission. Okay? Something came to her. It was not just her that came to. A lot of people had this transmission that Mary had, but they aborted it. They didn't allow it to find expression. There was no spaciousness in them for it to actually like get nurtured and to actually get birthed forth. There was an abortion. There was an evacuation. But when this came to Mary, from the story, if we're familiar with it, Mary was just open-hearted, though it wasn't something she could figure out. She said, how can this be? Like, how can it be that I will conceive without meeting a man? Like, it doesn't add up. I hear people today feel that's an impossible kind of thing. You know, people feel, oh wow, how can it happen that way? There's more to life, guys. There's more to life. For instance, can you figure out how you came about? Can you see your starting context, like how you started, how you began as life? You can see. Not because it is difficult, because it is beyond what can be seen or figured out. It is in the realm of the scene itself, not something that can be seen as an act, like a separate kind of activity. It's a seamlessness, harmoniousness flow. So Mary said, how can this be? How can it happen? And the answer given to her was that you are going to be overshadowed from or by the power from on high. In other words, there's going to be a within transaction. There's going to be a within epiphany, if you like. And that is just how it's going to happen. And Mary went like, well, be it done to me according to your words. That I call openness of heart and willingness, childlikeness. Like it is said, unless you are like a child, you can't transact and experience the kingdom. You can't walk in the kingdom flow of life. You can't experience life for what it is unless there is that childlikeness innocence, flexibility, posture, openness, willingness, heart posture. You can't flow with life as life is. And that was how Mary allowed for this transmission to find expression. And what was it that was said to her? That you're going to give birth to a child. And the name of this child is going to be called Emmanuel. What is Emmanuel? It's not just a name, like a being. Emmanuel means God with us. In other words, there has been this illusion ravaging humanity, more like a consciousness that says God is far off. God is a distant being. You have to stretch, you have to struggle to try to maybe by chance get to this God or to get this God's attention. But now, Mary, you're going to give birth to a realm. You're going to bring about a consciousness that has been there but hidden. And this consciousness says, God is with man. God is with man. God is not far from man. That was the transmission that came to Mary. But imagine if Mary got this aborted by way of trying to commercialize it like it has happened. I've seen it happen to a lot of people, even in our time. I will give us an example. For instance, bless the heart of this man. Bless his heart, really. Steve Jobs. He had a glimpse of something. I will paraphrase. He got to see somehow that he can design a gadget that does not have virus and of course wouldn't need an antivirus. Now, you would know that other gadgets, other computers, phones and all require antivirus because they have viruses. Now, these viruses are mechanical kind of things. They're not organic. They're not things that happen like your device gets attacked just on its own, like from organic kind of sources. No. It is a deliberate design for market, for business, for profit. These viruses are made, and antiviruses are actually made also. It's all about business. Okay. So, but this guy had a clue. I call it a transmission. It came to him. You can design a gadget that does not have virus and of course wouldn't need an antivirus. Apple doesn't have virus and of course it doesn't need an antivirus. But that wasn't just about making a device. It was a transmission of light that came for a possible embodying. It is for us to embody it. It is a pointer revealing that we are health personified. We are wellness. We are wellness. We don't get sick and get well. But like right now, it appears like, no, that's not possible. We have seen it this way. That's been like this all through. Guy, this is just how it is. But that is why we remain where we are. Because we don't allow for these transmissions to find expression. We try to figure them out. So we choke these transmissions. We crowd them. We don't allow for them to find inherent inward expression and to be given birth to in this realm of life, for us to evolve and stretch, for our expansiveness to be revealed. So we stay stuck within the mindset of mortality and limitation and all whatnot. Now, this piece is just to let us understand that there's more to life than meets the eyes. But nothing is going to happen unless we allow for these transmissions that have been sent through us to find expression, to come true. If not, it will appear like this is just how life is. Like if a bird is in the cage, to that bird, that is a normal way to live. To that bird, it is not healthy to fly. But when this cage is taken off, the bird begins to see that, oh, I can fly. But that cage in itself is not a mechanical thing. Like that cage, don't look at it as an extra thing, so to speak. That cage is a mindset. The cage is a belief system, a conditioning. But if that cage is off, if those belief systems are off, if that conditioning is unlearned, then I'm going to say, oh, this is not just where I can actually like go around, like the whole space It's mine. I can fly and fly and fly and fly. If you get what I mean. That's why I have the wings and the atmosphere, is all free for me to explore and all. Now this is just what I'm trying to say. There is more and much, much more to life, but not until we get our hearts open. Nobody is coming from anywhere, from outside of us to save us. There is never going to be that. Salvation is inherent, is within. We have to allow for this transaction to find expression. If it doesn't find expression, we'll remain where we are. There has to be a willing unlearning of these conditionings. Okay? So this is what this piece is all about. This piece is designed to give us like a wake-up call. Keep an open heart. Let's start getting willing. When transmissions come, it's not just about making money with it. Sorry to say, Steve Jobs is no longer alive. He died of cancer. I'm not saying he died or something, but imagine if that transmission was embodied. Of course, possibly much later, anything can be done out of it, but we are just too much conditioned for gain. We just want to make it, not knowing that we are the very asset. We are the treasure. We are all that is. Everything flows from that which we are. These transmissions are coming to further expose us to our allness, to the fullness that we are as life. And these things we definitely still find expression as gadgets or whatever, but we will see them from the right perspective of what they stand for. Not seeing them as if they are what defines us or makes us more valuable. Nothing makes you more. Nothing adds to you. Nothing makes you complete. Nothing would and nothing can. Completeness, fullness, wholeness is your default design. And this is what I'm saying today. There is more and much, much more to life than meets the eyes. Okay? I'll come with more. This is just like to whet our appetite, okay? Just to give us a little bit of a push. Bless your hearts. Listen to this and get it shared. Bless your heart.